What
Oh
the?
my gosh!
Can you hear us, Tanner?
Yeah, what's going on, man?
How you doing? You look awfully big. You look like you. Oh, you're holding the camera down low. Okay, I got it. You cut your hair.
Yeah, I'm trying to look like
Kenny,
you, man.
do we have to stop and restart the thing so that you can have more time?
No, you're totally okay.
No, I mean on the Zoom thing, the recording.
I don't know. I think we'll be okay. If not, I'll figure it out. Tanner, are you really redhead? Because your hair doesn't look red.
Yeah, it's red. It's gotten more like kind of auburn a little bit the
As you
past few
advanced in your
years.
age.
Yeah,
How come you cut your hair off though?
it's the quarantine haircut, man. No, I got hair. I was just getting really like hard to deal with, so I just cut it all off. Told my brother and my friend, like, just shave my head. So I just woke up and did it.
This was my partner Felicia. I don't know if you know her, Felicia O, one of the dirty dozen of American black belts outside of Brazil. Um, Tanner Rice, of course.
Hi,
He
Tanner.
likes
Hi, how's it going?
I don't know
Tanner.
if we've met, but we've had some degree of separation, one degree of separation of an old sponsor of yours that used to be students of mine.
Oh, okay, cool.
Tanner, you were the first person to make me understand the word ginger. So every time I heard the word ginger, I thought they were referring to ginger on Gilligan's Island, meaning that because I think ginger's hotter than Marianne. So I thought when people were saying somebody was a ginger, it meant that they're kind of like they're a better looking person. Like nobody really understands how good looking she is. And I think we had a discussion, and you said something like, "No, man, ginger means you have red hair."
Yeah,
I don't know if you remember that conversation,
I
but
do. Yeah, I do. I think I was what Kids Pan Am's, right?
I don't remember where it was, but I was like, I can't believe I've gone 50 years of my life and I didn't know what ginger meant.
Well, that was a beautiful intro to this episode of the Grapple TV podcast. Today, Kenny and I are here with Tanner Rice, who
Are you?
is, in fact, an Auburning ginger.
Yeah, yeah.
And don't mistake that for Marianne.
No, no, yeah, not at all.
Tanner, I've heard of the Rice brothers. I don't know your brothers. Who are they?
I have four brothers actually. Um, three of them besides me are black belts now as well. I have two younger brothers. He is 20. He got his black belt like 7 or 8 months ago. I have a 22-year-old brother. He's a black belt. He got his black belt about 4 years ago, I want to say. And then my older brother is also a black belt. He doesn't train too much anymore. He works in Oregon.
So how did you start, or who started first?
What I did because I'm kind of the oldest in a sense, but my brothers started about the same time as me. They started. He was older than me, so he always just beat me up. But my dad is also a black belt, so we he started on jiu-jitsu here in Shasta County. It was him and a friend, So
And your father got his black belt when?
oof, man, that would have been crap.
You can.
11 years ago, I think 12 years ago.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
Do you remember the day you first tapped your dad?
I do. Yeah, because he was on TRT at the time, and I just came back from Brazil. He was a purple. I was a purple belt, and he was a black belt. And he got up and he was like, "My dad, he didn't mind me beating him. I don't think he was just like kind of an old age thing, and he had been going through some shit anyway with divorce and things like that. So he was kind of stressed out anyway. But he like picked up, he like took the clock off the wall at the gym and like threw it against the wall. He was just. I think it was other reason. I didn't think he minded me tapping him out. But I think he got that kind of was like the last straw. You know what I mean? So,
What did
but
you
yeah, I
catch
do
him?
remember that. Yeah,
What
he
did
made
you
a memorable moment.
What did you catch him with?
Shit. Man, I think it was a triangle.
And how did you feel?
Oh man, I mean, I felt good, but at the same time, like he kind of walked away, and I was like, "That's weird. Maybe I hit him in the nose or something." And then like he grabbed the clock and like just chucked it and shattered it against the wall. I was like, oh shit. I was a little worried, honestly. I was like, oh man, I'm grounded, you know? So, yeah, but
Did you?
yeah, I felt all right. I mean, of course, like he's the one that gave me cauliflower ear. Actually, at 14 years old, I had cauliflower ear on both sides. So, but yeah, I mean, obviously I liked it, but you know,
Wait, so did he start jujitsu first, or then you guys all went as
he
a
did.
family, or how did that go?
Yeah, he did. So what happened is my dad had a chain of hardware stores at one time, and um, so when UFC one came out, I was just born, and he was a karate black belt as well, and he was in the back like after Hoist like beat everybody up, they were in the back with their like karate gis on, like beating each other up in the back of the hardware store like on mats, and you know, not knowing what they're doing, but they're trying like to do ground stuff, you know, and they're like beating each other up, right, or trying anyway. And then this purple belt hears like this ruckus going out in the back, and he was just there to buy something from the store, and he like walks in back like sees like on the ground like doing obviously stupid stuff. And then this purple belt comes in, like offers to train, and obviously he just like murders everyone in the room, you know. And then you know, after that, my dad trained with him like 3 to 5 days a week for 10 plus years. So that's how it all started. Was the purple belt? Just he was an airplane pilot. He lived here in Reading, and so he was traveling. He had a house here, and he was on break or whatever, and so he wandered in the store, and that's how it all started.
And then did you guys start training? You and your brother start training with your dad at that point?
No, because I was just born, right? So my
Oh, that's
my
right.
younger brothers weren't even born. My older brothers would have been 7 and 8. They didn't really start it. It was just kind of my dad doing his own thing. He was young. He was probably 30 years old. Um, so he was just kind of doing his own thing. And then we hit about, I want to say I was about 6 or 7, and then we all kind of started at once.
And did you do other sports growing up?
I did baseball, yeah. I liked baseball a lot.
So,
All three of the youngest, all of us did baseball.
so you could be one of two things. You could be, I don't know, Peyton Kershaw on the Dodgers,
Yeah,
or Tanner Rice in jiu-jitsu.
yeah. I don't know. Baseball kind of fell out for me. It wasn't, you know, I kind of fell in love with jiu-jitsu, but I had my little moments when I was a teenager. I wanted to play basketball for a little bit, but I ended up just sticking with jiu-jitsu.
I know the problem with baseball is the chewing tobacco, right? That's what got you, right? You didn't like the chewing tobacco.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Did you see that when this coronavirus is, or actually when they start opening up baseball, they're not going to be able to chew chewing tobacco. No poly seeds. Oh, those are sunflower seeds. Who don't know what poly seeds are? No high fiving. No, I forgot what else they said. That's going to be crazy.
It doesn't make any sense, man. It's absurd, you know? It's dumb. I mean, I've
What?
been grappling with people for the past month. Nobody from the gym's gotten sick, you know? So I don't know. I've got my own thoughts on what I think of the whole thing, but, you know, it seems kind of ridiculous to me and blown out of proportion. But,
But Tanner, you were like, I remember seeing your post on Instagram or Facebook or something, and you're the first person I remember seeing that opened their gym early on in this lockdown craziness,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. So what ended up happening is we decided, me and Matthew we've been running the gym for about 3 years now by ourselves, and we've
And you,
built up
you
quite a bit.
were in California, that was locked down at the time, right? Like,
Yeah. And we saved up quite a bit of money. We don't spend too much money from the gym unless it's on the gym or traveling. And then we make most of our money through private lessons, or my brother also has a gi company that he's made. So we have but we saved up quite a bit of money, and we shut down for about 40 plus days, 45 days. And then, it started coming out like the CDC was obviously lying about the numbers, or they maybe not lying, maybe they just over exaggerated. And then, our landlord was raising rent at the time, so we had no income at the time either. So it was like, okay, well, we're going to either sit here and watch everything we've worked for the past 3 years, and we've had the gym for 10 years, but my dad was running it before that. Just kind of go out the window, or we can just open up and see what happens. So what ended up happening is we opened up, right? And coincidentally, I mean, we didn't really want to make a big deal out of it and want everybody to know about it. But then a guy from the record store site drove by and just saw a bunch of cars out front. And I asked, like, hey, you guys open? Like, yeah, we're open. So can I do a story on you guys? I was like, yeah, whatever, sure. I didn't think much of it. After that, like, it went out of control and, got shared everywhere. So, and then after that, people started calling me like, you're leading the way. Good job. And I was like, oh, okay. I was just trying to open my gym and make, income, but whatever, but, yeah, it turned into something I didn't expect it to, for sure.
Did you get response from the other side too, of people saying you shouldn't be doing that or negative?
So it was probably 90%, 95% positive. And then there was those few people that, obviously were not happy. But as far as our gym, we only had like 2 families, I think, that were kind of upset that we opened. But other than that, everybody else in the gym was positive about it.
But then they also have the choice not to go, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
that would be my thought. Like, why am I going to be like? I particularly wouldn't go. You know what I mean? But if you want to
Yeah.
open up, if you want to open up your gym, that's on you. You know what I mean? So like to me, I'd be like, hey, good luck. I hope it works out. I don't want to see anybody lose. You know, what they worked so hard for their whole life, and have it just go down the drain. But if I mean, just respect, people's decision. We all don't think the same. We all have different perspectives. So there's no need for hate.
Yeah, I mean, it's frustrating still, man. Like, still gyms are closing down like all over the country, and it's really sad to see.
Well, not
So
just gyms, a lot of businesses in general. But so
yeah,
what have
for
you
sure.
done at your academy? Have you done other things like more sanitizer? Like what other things have you done? Have you taken into all the recommendations with the temperatures and all those kinds of things? What have you done?
Yeah, there's hand sanitizer everywhere. We obviously talk to people every day about cleaning and staying clean and not using the same gi twice. And and if you're around anyone that's sick, even if you're not sick, don't show up. And like, just tons of stuff. Like, obviously we're being like, we're more janitors right now than we are instructors. But we're cleaning a ton. We updated our waivers. I mean, we have police officers and nurses and doctors, and all of their kids are back training. And they're training. So it's not. It's pretty much like, as far as right now, especially this last week, it's been pretty much normal here, as far as like the gym and like people's attitudes, and the paranoia, this whole thing is kind of went away.
And is the town that you live in, you're living in Reading? Is that correct?
I live in Cottonwood, but yeah, I'm like 25 minutes from Reading.
And so is the town in that area, is that all back to normal as well? Like, or places to close?
So we just started opening. What did it open today? I think open Monday was the mall. We like, I don't know if you guys saw that thing the governor posted about the Cottonwood Rodeo. So Cottonwood has about 1,500 people, and somehow we got about 2,000 people to come out. Right. So there was a lot of people there, and hang on, baby's crying. So anyway, so he decided to try to extend our lockdown, right? And it didn't happen, obviously. The county. Hey, sweetie. All right. Sorry, guys. She just woke up from her nap. So, yeah. So anyway, so he tried to extend our lockdown. The county decided not to do that. The sheriff's not supporting it here anymore either. He's kind of fed up with it.
So they're just letting people do whatever they want.
Not, not as much, not really like that. I mean, people are still the problem. I think is everybody's kind of scared right now. Still, not of. I don't even think of the virus. From what I've heard, it's from the authorities thinking they're going to get in trouble or they're going to get fined or they're going to, have some sort of issue financially. And well, the way I look at it is like, if I'm going to get fined, I'm going to go out trying, right? So, we've been, we've been doing pretty good. Anyway, we've been doing all right.
You haven't been fined, or has the health department come by, or?
So the health department came by, walked out without a mask on, walked into the gym, walked their shoes all over the fucking mat. Sorry, my language. And then handed me an envelope and said, "Hey, I'm from the county. This is for you." I'm like, all right. Well, I figured that would happen right in the middle of kids' class. And so I open it, and there's this letter. I could send it to you guys too.
You mean it wasn't filled with money for you?
No, yeah. So it said, "Hey, it would be a huge coincidence to the public or to the people of Reading if you shut down and it's not right. It's going against the governor's rules, blah, blah, or laws or orders or whatever the hell they call them." And it wasn't anything super aggressive. So then we said, you know what, we're not going to shut down because of this letter, And anyway, so, hey, Dad, take her. I have this podcast going on. Take her. Hey, Pop-Tart, what are you doing? So, sorry about that, guys. So, I forgot what was that. Oh, yeah, the letter. So, then 2 days later, a police officer came by. He came by, said, "Hey, I'm here. I honestly support what you're doing." He talked to me outside the gym. Came in with his vest on or whatever, his little outfit. I don't know what they call it, the uniform. And comes in. He asked me.
They call it a gi.
Yeah, yeah. They said, "Just wanted to warn you. Health department might fine you $1,000 per day of being open. You might lose your business license. You might get jail time. Like, you might do this. You might do that." So, and then he went on to say, like, I understand what you're doing. I support what you're doing, but I'm just here to warn you. This might happen. So I was like, okay, thank you. That was when things got a little sketchy because the cops that were training at the time all of a sudden stopped showing up. Like, literally all of them, families and all. So then it got sketchy. We're like, okay, like, maybe we are going to get arrested, Maybe we are going to get a fine. So it never happened. So now it's this like a normal weekly thing. I get a call from the police department going, "Hey, I think the health department's going to show up today or tomorrow, and they're going to fine you. Today's the day." And they keep calling me on the phone, say this. But all the cops are supportive. All the cops have came back since then, and they all trained. And I'm like, okay, so we still haven't gotten anything. We're still open as normal. So.
That's rough. I'd be nervous. I can't do jail time, especially in
me either,
Shasta
man.
County.
I'm soft, so that's why I shaved my head. I was getting prepared.
You'll start getting tattoos.
Yeah.
I'm just getting ready for prison if it happens.
Exactly. So yeah, as of right now, we haven't gotten anything this week. So I think everything's done with. You know what I mean? We've been in the paper twice, trying like the front page news, saying like we're open and we're defying the governor's orders or whatever. That's what
Have you gotten new students as a result?
Oh yeah, our classes are bigger, so because of all the publicity we've gotten. So, we didn't even expect all of this. Like I said, it's just we opened and then it just kind of happened.
Did you discuss any of this with your brothers or father before you decided to open?
For sure, of course. I mean, me and my brother have business. We're part owners of the business. So, and we have two schools. We have one about 30 minutes south and one here. And we discussed it. And Matthew, he's 20, and he's extremely what's the word? Losing it. Mature for his age. But he was obviously nervous. He's 20 years old. He's like a straight edge kid. He doesn't have a girlfriend. He saves money. He's a business owner, two business owners. He's got two businesses. He's doing everything right. But so when he heard of jail time, he was a little sketched out of the situation. So I kind of took the brunt of it. Like I was just like, you know what, I'll get a little jail time. Like, it'll be interesting. Because I knew if they did arrest me, like they have to let you go. And my police friends told me that, like, yeah, if they get arrested, like they'll arrest you, but they book you and they let you go. We're not allowed to even keep anybody in jail right now. So it's like, okay, well, I've got nothing. The worst that can happen is I get $1,000 fine, and I get a few hours in prison with my students slash friends of our jail, and I go about my business. So I didn't really mind it. My dad was extremely supportive of the situation. He was like, go for it, because my dad is he's like hardcore Trump to the max, like maximum level. I haven't really cared about politics until about a month ago. But he's hardcore Trump to max, and he thinks it's for a political gain. He doesn't even think that this whole thing was. He thinks the sickness was real, but just blown out of proportion for political gain. So anyway, he was extremely supportive of us opening, and they didn't have a problem with it.
So next week, Wednesday. Do you know what's supposed to happen next week on Wednesday?
No, I don't.
IBJJF Worlds, Long Beach Pyramid.
Are you gonna be there?
Yeah, I know. It's crazy, huh?
And I'll be seeing Tanner there fighting on Saturday, but not this year.
He's gonna have mats out in the parking lot.
Yeah, you might as well, man. I thought about it for a second. We've had visitors come here. We had people from Alaska here last weekend. Trainees just flew in to train. Obviously, they have money, It's like, all right, well, cool. People are.
The area you're in, is there a lot of infection there? Like, have there been a lot of cases in the area where you are?
I think there was. Yeah, I think there was 34 total. 4 had passed away, and 4 of them had prior symptoms of other things like cancer, or they were elderly, but then the rest are totally fine.
And when you talk about, if you got arrested and put in the little jail there for a day or whatever hours with your cop student friends, I instantly, like, my image is Mayberry.
Yeah.
You're too young for that.
Yeah, I just don't see I just didn't see anything. I didn't see any wrongdoing, and I was nervous because I didn't want to get, after it kind of got public, I woke up after it went public and my phone was like blown up, and I didn't have no idea it even happened. And then I had some hate mail, of course, and people were pretty upset, obviously, and then most people were really supportive.
What city do you live in?
Redding, California. I live in Cottonwood, but the school is in Redding.
Redding. Have you thought about running for mayor?
I've actually gotten that question more times than you think.
No, I believe it. I believe it.
Redding is in Northern California, right? Just so we can know.
Yeah, so it's about 2 hours north of Sacramento.
It's quite a ways north.
It's about another 2 hours. You would be in Oregon, north.
I was thinking, is there a Redding in Southern California?
No, there's a Redding in, I think it's, yeah.
Maybe I'm thinking of Banning. Maybe I'm just thinking of Banning. Okay, I thought you were down south. Okay.
No, I've been in NorCal my whole life.
So you got that good drinking water.
Yeah, we
Do,
drink out of the well here.
do you hunt?
I've never been a fan, but my brothers love it. I can't stand it. I don't have the patience.
Do you have an AK-47?
I do not. We do have uh, big guns, but we don't have an AK-47.
What? So when they go hunting, what do they kill?
My brothers killed anything from squirrels to deer to bear to hog to everything else. So I don't
You
know.
so you eat bear?
Yeah.
Is it tasty?
Yeah. I mean, you have to cook it right because it is kind of tender, but yeah, it's good.
I'm just saying, if we open back up for a jiu-jitsu tournament and you brothers happen to shoot a bear, I might be down for a slice of bear. Just
A
keep that in the
slice of
back.
bear
Just,
outside.
just keep that in
I
the
don't
Or
back
know.
of your
bear
mind.
bacon.
Yeah, IBGF Worlds might have to come to Reading. We'll see.
So, what's the worst game that you have had that you don't like?
What game? What do you mean?
Like bear, deer, wild game.
Oh
Yeah, I'm still back on that.
man, so crap. I didn't like pheasant. Pheasant seemed kind of stringy to me, and if the meat was kind of weird, I don't know. And then squirrel was definitely interesting. I tried that when I was like 15. I'll never forget that because it was like it was taste like sugar. Had sugar on it almost. It was super weird.
Wow.
Is there a lot to eat? Like, is it like a little pigeon?
Oh yeah, exactly. It's about as much as a pigeon. You know what I mean? You would have to kill 5 squirrels to fill me up. Not even probably. Yeah, probably 5 to 10 squirrels. I'm a big boy. I got a lot to eat.
How so? Up there in Reading, are there a lot of jiu-jitsu schools, or like you the only one?
So we're the only one in Reading now. There's another one that's about 40 minutes east in Palisadro. That they have a school, but yeah, we're the only one in Reading.
And what? So your lineage is just your father? I mean, like, who is he under?
He's under. His name is John Dill, and John Dill got promoted from James Baran, and James Baran is in LA. He's in Orange County.
Yeah, we know James Baran, old school.
Yeah, yeah. So
Also a ginger.
yes, and so I'm good friends with him, and he also he gave my dad his black belt along with John Dill. It was like kind of a mutual thing.
So when do you expect to be competing again?
Oof. Well, I have a fight to win coming up with Felipe Andrew coming up. Hopefully the end of this month. They haven't really. I think Seth is having trouble finding a venue because he hasn't really. He's confirmed the fight. He just doesn't know when because obviously it's hard to find places to have the fight right now. So that's my next one. But as far as like IBGF goes, I bet I had another person ask me that. I bet Pans of next year is going to be our first one. That's what I bet.
So what I'm thinking is that there will be no championships this year. I'm trying to convince IBJJF just to give me an honorary medal.
Oh yeah,
Let me go ahead and take a gold.
for
Why
sure.
not? Let me be in the
Yeah,
record
I could be
books.
undefeated 2020.
That's right.
Yeah, no, actually that's not true. I lost Europeans. I got 30 Europeans.
Are you training to fight, or I'm sorry, are you getting prepared for your fight to win, or
Oh
you're
yeah,
just doing your
but I'm
regular
training hard. I mean,
regular
I jacked
training?
up my finger like a week ago. It's pretty gross. You guys want to see it?
Oh yeah.
It's
Mm.
pretty nasty. So I was helping a friend. He was opening his CrossFit gym, but he was moving it to a better location. And I had to pick up the big weights. So I grabbed the big weights, and it was rainy outside. So I go to rack it, and it was like a 125-pound dumbbell, and I dropped it right on my finger when I went to rack it.
Mm.
Right, and it just took the nail completely off, and I probably should have gotten stitches. My brother, the more mature one, he's younger, 7 years younger than me. He told me, he's like, "Yeah, you should get stitches." And I was like, "Nah, screw it. I'll just wrap it up." And then now it just keeps reopening. So I was training last night, and it like split open super bad. So me and my brother had to put super glue on it last night. So
I've heard that was the old school way of treating injuries or cuts back in the old days. Super
Yeah,
glue. So
yeah, maybe
did
not old school. Yeah, maybe it's not the correct way, but it's definitely the old school way.
did any of your jiu-jitsu training prepare you for getting your finger smashed? Like I guess what I'm asking is your pain tolerance has to have gone up because of jiu-jitsu training.
Of course, yeah. I mean, some people like it's hard. I don't like. I'm sure you teach sometimes, right? Of course, you teach somebody, and sometimes they go. So, perfect example. I was teaching a lady this morning, and we're doing a Kimura when the person sits up a guard like a Kimura trap, right? And you kind of just have to fall on your side. We're on the mats, right? It's no gi. We're doing a rolling Kimura trap. And then she's just like, every time she does the move, she's going, ow, 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 my side hurts, ow. And I'm like, well, try the other side if your side hurts. And she's, ow, ow. I'm like, my God. So I always forget, like, maybe this isn't normal for most people to like drop on the ground. You know what I mean? Like, so it just doesn't, I've been doing it for so long. It just, sometimes I just forget and it doesn't dawn on me like, oh man, these people are being sissies. But at the same time, like they've never done that. You know what I mean? So I can understand how, like, that would hurt just dropping on the ground over and over again. So, but yeah, my pain tolerance is definitely probably a little bit higher. This hurt though. It didn't hurt when it initially happened because I yanked my finger out super fast. So, I looked at the palm of my hand. I'm like, oh, no, I'm good. It didn't hurt that bad. And then I turned my hand over. I'm like, oh, crap. And I was bleeding a lot. And about 30 seconds later, it started just throbbing super bad. And then all right. Yeah, it was
There's
going
always
through
the
it.
problem of being too tough, right?
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about this morning the people that don't know when to stop training. Like some people are beat up and they train so hard so often, and they never go like, I'm not one to go light. I don't like to go light per se, but I won't go as much, right? So if instead of doing 8 rounds, you do 3, or you know what I mean, right? That's smart to me, you know. Like flow rolling is absolutely useless in my opinion, unless you're teaching a new person. But as far as like a black belt with another black belt flow rolling, I just don't see the point. Um, but it, it's just I don't understand. I just don't understand. I don't know what I understand. I forgot.
Well, I'll say that I only understood some of those things that you mentioned with the onset of age. Because I would have
Yeah,
said the same thing some years back when I was more competitive
yeah,
and not so old and beat up. But over time, like, but you don't need to worry about that now. You're in the prime of it. So,
Oh, I feel it though. I
yeah.
mean, I teach, so on top of teaching all day, I train, right? And just like you guys, it catches up with you. And like after this break of the lockdown, I didn't do anything, just stretched a little bit, worked out sometimes. I felt great when I went back. I'm like, my gosh, I feel so much better just from letting everything heal and relax a little bit.
I'm gonna feel horrible. I'm like all squishy. It takes a while for your body to,
Yeah,
to be resilient again. You're like, you're like,
yeah, yeah,
and then after a week or two, you're like, okay, I'm good.
for sure.
Hey, so tell us about some of your funnest matches and who they were against.
Oof, funnest matches. I had fun fighting. I never had fun fighting Keenan. I fought him a lot. His lanky legs and his lapel is like so aggravating. I've had a lot of fun fighting Lovato. That was like a huge thing for me because, I mean, I was like a white belt watching that guy, so at black belt already. So it was like that was definitely fun. I mean, I lost the match, but it was super fun. Um, I fought Hulk twice. Those have always been close matches. I've beat him twice, but he's like, it's always like not a boring match. We're always like going ham on each other. Gregor Gracie, he's always down to scrap. He doesn't really stall or do anything like that. Yuri was an interesting one. Yuri gave me like that one that was like, oh crap, I got a lot to learn still.
Mm.
As far as like, as far as tournament strategy and just on like in the fight IQ was just it was like, okay, this guy goes super hard in the beginning, but I didn't expect how hard. Like he literally goes for broke right off the beginning. If he doesn't get you within that 5 minutes, then you have a chance of winning, right? But that 5 minutes, you got to withstand that 5 minutes of just crazy fury, right? So, that was an eye opener. I enjoyed that match. And who else? Shoot, fought a lot of people, man. Um, Fought Andre when I was a lightweight. I signed up for the absolute, and so this is how dumb I was when I first got my black belt. I didn't even know how to look up at brackets. I had no idea. I literally was just signing up for these tournaments like over and over again, and I was just a tough kid that And so I fought Gustavo Diaz my first fight. He was an ultra heavy. I was a lightweight at the time. I won barely. And then my second fight was Andre, but I had no idea. So I walk out of the pad and like, oh, cool, Andre's in front of me, and I had no idea it was my next match. And then I shook hands with Andre, like, oh my god, I'm fighting Andre right now. First three tournaments into black belt. I'm like, crap. All right, well, there we go. So that was fun though, things like that.
So coming up to that point, you were not really aware of who all these people were?
Not honestly until brown belt. I didn't know who anyone was except the Gracies, because my dad was like a fanatic of the Gracies, right? So I know who Kron was. Kron at the time was just demolishing everywhere. So when he lost for the first time, I was like, oh my gosh, who's this guy? And then I started looking up oh, who's his training partners? And then that's how I got caught on to Sabrina, because I was like, oh crap, this person's in LA. It's only 9 hours from me. It's an hour and a half flight. So that's how I got involved with Cabrina, because I went to a camp, and that's where I met Michael Lange, Bruno Malvicini. Everybody was at the camp. So, I met all these people at brown belt. I was 18 at the time, and I was going, oh my gosh, these guys are way cooler than the Gracies. So I like the Gracies a lot. I was like, man, these guys know a lot cooler stuff than them. I'm doing closed guard armbar still, and these guys are flipping me over their head with spider guard and stuff. So it was definitely an eye opener for sure.
Have you, since you started training jiu-jitsu, have you ever gotten a street fight and had to use it?
So I got in fights in school, in high school, and I was already training by then. And it was always with a football player or a wrestler. Street fight, I got in two altercations in Brazil just for being a tall white dude at a bar, and I had long red hair, fluorescent red hair. It was, it was Manaus too. It wasn't even like Sao Paulo where there's other white people. There was no white people. So I went there, and I was just, I stood out. I was young, and luckily I had some of my friends from the gym there. But I would have probably gotten my ass kicked if I didn't have my friends there from the
Hmm.
gym.
Did you hear the Josh Hinger story about when he was overseas and he got in a fight?
No, I don't think I did. I thought I heard Sean Roberts. Sean Roberts, I thought got. Oh no, Nathan. I think Nathan got in one, right? Nathan Mendelsohn, he got mugged or something.
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, I think he did. Yeah. He stole his wallet, keys. I was like, oh shit, he got bonked on the head with something from behind. I was like, oh man.
How was training in Brazil?
So back then, now I believe I've been in Brazil quite a few times since then, but when I went, they didn't teach me anything. I went for 2 years, not as straight, but 3 months on, 3 months off. And I just got super tough. They didn't show me anything. Just the time being there, I went to the same school every time. So it wasn't like I was just gym hopping, And they just, I would train really hard, and, I was friends with the guys, but I was just never shown anything. And then when I went to Abrinas, I was shown all this cool stuff. And I was like, okay, well, obviously Brazil's not the way to go. There's a lot better ways to learn than traveling all the way to Brazil,
Do you still think they have that same mentality now, or do you think it's changed?
I think it's changed. They're starting to realize, okay, we're gonna have to change with the times, the successful, smart Brazilians are here, teaching in America, you know? So like, I think they're realizing like, oh yeah, maybe we should be nice to the, you know, visiting gringos, you know what I mean? So that would be nice.
How did
I
you
mean,
end,
I appreciate it. So I got tough. So at a young age.
how did you end up in Manaus as opposed to Rio or someplace?
So a mutual friend of ours, he taught English he speaks fluent Portuguese. And he flew there to train. He was a blue belt. I was a blue belt at the time. He came back with a friend, and that friend is in the UFC. He just beat Anthony Pettis, Carlos Diego Ferreira. So he came here, and we actually opened a school with him. That was how we that's our first school that we opened. And otherwise, we just trained with each other, friends, you know. So we didn't have a school. So we opened a school with him. We named it Amazonas Brazilian Jiu Jitsu because he was from the Amazon. And then he, about a year into it, he decided to kind of pull a fast one and just dip and move to Texas. You know, I'm sure that's not the first time you've heard a story like that. So anyway,
Why the laugh, Kenny?
yeah,
Because we've heard those stories a couple times.
yeah. So he dipped, moved to Texas, didn't make very many friends there, kind of screwed over some mutual friends. And then, you know, he's doing well now, obviously. He's making a ton of money in the UFC. He's top 10 in the middleweight, or I think it's middleweight. So he's doing good now. And so that's how we got. So anyway, so I went back with Brazil with him after he came and visited, and he actually lived with us for a year. And then I went back there with him, just kept taking frequent trips with him.
Well, oddly, like Jacare's from Manaus too, right?
Yeah, Shanji, and I think Shanji and
Jacare.
yeah, Jacare's from there. I thought Shanji was from there too. Shanji and Solo, no?
But
Sorry.
but oddly, like Jacare was supposed to fight in the UFC too, and then he got sick.
I know. Yeah, that sucked. I'm bummed. I like Jacare a lot.
Me too. I had just taken a picture with him at I think it was the No-Gi Worlds. He showed up and they gave him an award. And I took a picture with him. I hadn't seen him in he used to come train at our academy with Hegan. So we knew him 15 years ago.
Oh, wow. So you knew him.
2005, like down at Jiu Jitsu Pro Gear, you know, with Gilberto.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he was a monster back then, so.
Oh, I would have loved to train with that dude in his prime. That dude, the freaking nature. It's like he had no, like there was no, like you couldn't get that guy tired, it seemed like. He just went. It was crazy. Even today, if you put that guy back in his prime then, just threw him into the matches, yeah, he's in the finals, you know what I mean? He's at least in the semis. You know, that guy was a monster.
That'd be interesting to see. Maybe 2020 when he comes back.
But then Adolfo came along and was like, all right. Adolfo was...
Well, that's true.
Adolfo came along and it was like, all right, you're making, you know, these world-class dudes, you're tapping them out under 2 minutes. You know? I was like, my gosh, dude. So one of my favorite times ever in my life, I made good friends with Leandro. I met him at the Coyote camp here. And good friends, went to San Paulo with him, stayed there for a couple months. Anyway, he's like, hey, you want to go to Rio? So he got me a super fight on the Copa Podium. And like, okay, we went to Rio, and he's like, hey, let's go train. So I go train, and like Jose out. So we're at the Venom. First of all, we walk up these stairs, and we're at this nice hotel. We walk up, and we're in the Venom photo shoot. So you got Machida, Jose Aldo, Adolfo, Leandro, Shogun Hua, all these people like in the same room. Like, oh my God. And I'm just like this little white kid. It's like 170 pounds, like going just totally out of place. And, you know, Leandro was nice enough to, you know, take me along. And then he's like, hey, let's go train. So we trained the next day, and it was just me, him, and Adolfo. And I was like, that had been my favorite time in my life. You know, it's the best hour of training I've ever had. Just so I got slaughtered, you know, I got completely demolished. But I mean, I had an amazing time.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, Tanner, I'm gonna have to go back to work now, unfortunately.
Okay.
But thank you so much for coming on. And
I'm
do you?
sorry about the mishap this
Oh,
morning.
no
I
worries,
totally
man.
forgot.
Trust me, we understand how life is.
Yeah.
Especially nowadays. Do you have anything you want to plug? Any sponsors? The name of your brother's tea company?
So One Roll Jiu-Jitsu is the gi company, right? He's going to come out with. He has made it. He's just getting gis made as we speak. And then Gameness is my sponsor. Armbar Soap Company, and everybody that's in safe locations. You guys need to open your gyms because stop leaving me out to dry.
You can't
I
do it.
feel like I'm a guinea pig. They're just sitting there watching me, going like, "Oh, wow. Let's see what happens to him." And then we'll decide. Assholes. All right, man. Well, thank you for having me on.
We got a couple sponsors. Felicia, go ahead.
We got Roll Dogs Kimonos, Luta Gear, Flow, Art of Felicia O, and Roll Forever. And
Iron Lion Soap.
Nice.
thank you, Tanner.
Thank you again,
All
Tanner.
right. See you guys.
Take care. Bye.